All right, here's a nice little follow along warm-up video, and this one goes out to Betty Joe. So first thing we're going to start doing is just marching in place. Breathing in, breathing out. All right, next thing we're going to do is hip circles. So we're going to pick this up, bring the knee across the body, and bring it out, and bring it out, and bring it in. That's one. We're going to do it 5 times. 2, 3, and if you need to hold on to something while you do that, totally fine. Could be a chair, could be a wall. And 5. Then we're going to do the other one. Out to in to out. 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, next thing we're going to do is get the little baby rolls with the shoulders. So pick them up, roll them back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pick them up, roll them forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In the big circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And backwards. Try not to fly away. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a downward dog against the wall. So just get your hands against the wall. Gentle pressure. Walk your feet back a little bit. And then from here, I'm going to shoot my butt back as my chest comes down through the floor. You might feel a stretch back here, but what we're really trying to do is get the shoulders and the back. So we'll do a couple of breaths here. Come out and reset. Go back into that. Shoot your hips back. Head and chest come down towards the floor. Heart towards the floor. And breathe. Okay. And the next thing we'll do is palm against the wall. So I'm just putting my fingers against the wall. As much pressure as you can get here. It's okay if you don't get all the fingertips there. We got it here. And I'm just going to push into the wall gently and turn away. Bless me. And then we'll turn the fingers back. Same thing, best of your ability. Should feel a nice stretch in here. And then if you can, fingers down. And if you need to, you can move down the wall to get everything there. All right, we'll get the other side. Fingers up. Can even add reaching with the other arm. Fingers back. And fingers down. All right, next thing we're going to do is grab a stick. And we're going to grab in front and we're going to do some rotation. So I'm going to gently pull it apart. You can use a pool stick, you can use a broomstick, or you can use a fancy stick. So I'm going to gently pull it apart like I'm trying to make this nice and long. So it gets some muscle engagement. I pull it long, bring it overhead. And as I come down, I'm going to push it in like I'm trying to shorten the stick, and you should feel some more muscles going on in the front. So pull it apart, 2, squeeze it in, down. Pull it apart, 3, squeeze it together, come down. Pull it apart, 4, squeeze it together, 4. Pull it apart, 5, and as you come down, squeeze it, 5. Good. All right, next thing we're going to do is put it behind our back. We're going to grab with the palms facing away, and we're going to reach away 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then turn the palm the other way. And with these, you don't have to think about pulling or shortening the stick or anything like that. But I'm just pulling it apart, or I'm just reaching back, getting that nice little stretch. Okay? And the next thing we're going to do is a stick windmill. We're going to get the stick on our back. We're going to get one foot in front of the other, so it's about heel-toe in alignment. I'm going to bend my knees, and then from here, I'm going to hinge back, shoot my butt back. And then whatever knee is forward, in this case, my right knee is forward, I'm going to rotate that right elbow down while keeping my hips exactly where they are. And we'll come out and stand, bend the knees, hips go back, keep the hips where they are as you rotate that front elbow to front knee. Come back, do that one more time. Unlock the knees, hips go back, and rotate. All right, we'll do the other way. Left foot in front, unlock the knees, hips go back like you're trying to close a car door with your butt. In this case, my left foot is forward, so left elbow to left knee. Stand. Unlock the knees. Butt back. Keep the hips where they are as you rotate. Stand, and one more. Good. All right, so that's the standing sequence. So next thing we'll do is we'll get everything onto the ground. So first thing we're gonna do is a cat-cow. So this just warms up the spine. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Gently reach through the floor so our shoulders are nice and stable. We're gonna round the spine, tucking the head and tail. That's the cat. Or that's the camel. And then head and tail looking up, and we're cat. And we're breathing nice and gentle, and you're in charge of how much motion you want to go into. That's 2. That's 3. Of course, we're breathing the whole time. That's 4. And that's 5. Next thing we're going to do is wag the tail. So I shoot my hips to the left, I look over my right shoulder. Shoot my hips to the right, I look over the left shoulder. And if you want, you can put like a foam roller or a ball here to gently squeeze, kind of lock things in. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, and 5. Good. We're going to go right into our bird dog. So reach to the floor so we're nice and stable. Imagine you're balancing a big old glass of red wine on your back and you don't want to spill it. Opposite hand, opposite foot, and come back. I'm reaching my right heel back, my left fingertips forward, and they're creating tension moving in opposite directions. That's 1, 2, 2. And you notice that I'm not reaching up to the sky. It's just straight forward, straight back. My spine stays exactly where it is. I'm just moving the limbs. 4, 4, 5, and 5. All right, next thing we're gonna do is an adductor rock. So from here, leg out to the side. And from here, I'm gonna reach my butt back and do 5 on each side. 2, 3, should be feeling a good stretch here. 4, and 5. All right, we'll switch and get the other side. You're more than welcome to do more if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, good. So next thing we're going to do is a posterior hip capsule stretch. It's going to create a lot of space in the back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach my left foot back, keep that toe point. That gives room for this to windshield wiper in. And then from here, I'm going to let this knee drop down and start putting a lot of weight into this right knee. From here, as you start pushing back, you might start feeling a stretch. And if you want to, come all the way down here, and you should be feeling a good old stretch right here. Just breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, and breathe out. All right, we'll switch, get the other side. You can stay in that longer if you need to. I'm going to reach my right leg back on the toe. I'm going to windshield wiper my left knee in, or left foot in. Drop down, putting a lot of that weight here on that left knee, and I should be feeling a good old butt stretch on that left side. For me today, it's really in that left side that I really need that stretch. So breathe in and breathe out. All right, you're more than welcome to stay in there longer if you need to. Next thing we're going to do is rock back breathing. So essentially it looks like a child's pose, but the way we're doing this is going to allow to get a lot of air in our posterior rib cage and good expansion there. That'll help with external rotation and flexion overhead. So I'm in this kneeling position. If you need to, you can always put a bolster or a foam roller here so you don't have to sit all the way back. I'm going to sit all the way back, get my elbows by my knees, palms facing up. I'm going to reach my elbows through the floor. As I do that, you can see that my shoulder blades kind of wrap around my rib cage. And then from here, trying not to have the chin too tucked down or too far up, nice and neutral, open airway. We're going to breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. Get all that air out. In through the nose, nice and gentle. You should feel a nice stretch in that upper back as you breathe in, and then breathe out through the mouth. Get all that air out of your body, out of your lungs. Might feel a little side ab turn on at the end of that full exhale. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. And one more cycle. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. Good. We're already here to kind of do a child's pose, so reach out. You can play around with the palms facing up. We'll change the stretch a little bit, but whatever feels good. Couple of breaths there. Then we're going to take both hands over to the right, and you should feel more of a stretch on that left side, kind of stretching out that left lat. Breathing in, breathing out. You can play around with the hands if you want. And then bring it over to the left. You should feel a little bit more of a stretch on that right lat, right QL, right side. A few breaths there. All right. So next thing we're going to do is the hip scissors. So with the hip scissors, you want something like a ball or a foam roller. You're going to lay on your side, and ideally 90 degrees at the hip, 90 degrees at the knee, and you want your feet super glued to the wall. If you don't have a wall, that's okay, but you'll get more out of the exercise if you do have a wall. Take a nice little squishy Pilates ball. We're going to get between the meaty part of the thighs. Remember, my feet are super glued to the wall. And then from here, I'm going to just slightly tuck my tail just a little bit. And then from here, keeping my feet super glued to the wall, I'm going to bring this top hip forward. You can think about the knee coming forward. And then I'm going to slide the top hip back, forward, and back. And we're just warming up the hips. We're taking the hips for a walk here. I like to put my hand on my actual hip bone right here so I can feel the end ranges, because we don't want to go into the back. We're not going to do that. Just like this. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, we'll flip. Do the same thing on the other side. It's about 90 at the hip, 90 at the knee. Squishy thing between here. And it's okay if you don't have the squishy thing. You could actually do it without it, but it helps. So feet super glued to the wall, hand on the hip bone, slide it forward and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Then we're going to do a T-spine rotation. So for the T-spine rotation, you can still have that ball between your knees. It'll be like this, or we can do it like this, whatever is most comfortable. I'm going to reach forward, and then I'm going to reach back. Good, that's 1. You reach forward. Ideally hand on the heart so you know you're moving through the rib cage, and then finish with the arm. Come back. We just don't want to be flopping the arm. We want to make sure that we're actually rotating through our rib cage. 3, 4, and of course you can always use a pillow. And 5. All right, and then from here we'll just transition right into a bretzel. So if you need to, you can put like a foam roller here. In this case, I'll just put the ball here. And if you need a strap to grab onto this, more power to you. But I'm going to grab onto here, and just let that shoulder melt back. And you should just kind of feel this everywhere. Good quad stretch, good outside hip stretch, and of course T-spine. We're going to take a few good breaths here. Ideally have a pillow. Always breathing. If you can't breathe through a position, you can't own the position. All right, flippity floppity. And we'll do T-spine rotation. So like I said, you can have something between the knees if you want. I'll show you the version here where I'm just like this. I'm going to reach, hand on the heart, make sure I'm moving through the rib cage, and then reach back. Reach forward, and back, 2. And with any of this stuff, feel free to do more reps if you want to. And 5. All right, go right into the bretzel. If you need a strap, strap that on, pull it in, more power to you. And breathe. Now that I'm holding onto my foot, letting my right shoulders melt back. Okay, next thing we're going to do is an anterior breathing exercise. So, 2 different ways to do this. From this position, I'm just going to gently squeeze the ball and gently push my feet, ideally through the knuckle of the big toe and the inner heel while still maintaining the knuckle of the little toe on both feet. And gently push to there, and you can see it just does a slight pelvic tilt. I'm not bringing up, just that slight pelvic tilt. From here, we can do it 2 ways. Either arms out like a T, that's the easy version, or we can do arms externally rotated back like this, kind of like hands up, field goal post. If you need to, you can do this, and you can support each side if you can't touch all the way with some pillows or yoga blocks. But now that we're here, I'm going to breathe in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth, get all the air out of your lungs. Should feel like the ribs are closing in, internally rotating, and a little bit of side abs turn on. In through the nose, and out through the mouth. Nice gentle inhale through the nose, out through the mouth, and one more, and out through the mouth. All right, reclaim your arms. Should have felt some good expansion here. And then finally, we're going to do 10 glute bridges while we're here. Same thing, gently squeeze here. Think through those same points of contact here. We're going to gently push through, a little pelvic tilt. We come up, and then come back down 1 vertebrae at a time in reverse. That's 1. Come up, 2, 3, breathing, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Good work so far. All right. And then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take a chair and we're going to do seated figure 4s. So ideally find a chair that has a hard bottom. We don't want to sink into it. We're going to get nice and seated. We're going to cross one leg over. And then from here, I'm just going to gently push down. You should be feeling a nice stretch right here in the hip. If this is too easy while still pushing this down, think about hinging forward, the chest coming down. You should feel a little bit more of a stretch there. We're just going to breathe in, breathe out. Working on external rotation of the hip right here. Okay. And then we'll switch. Of course, stay in that position longer if you need to. Bring that guy up here. Gently push down. That might be all you need. But to bump it up, we hinge forward, bring the head and chest down, and that'll intensify the stretch for you. And we're breathing. Always breathing. I keep saying that. It is so important. It's something you do 15 to 20,000 reps a day. It's super important. And you do it from the moment you're alive to the moment you die. So that's something to think about. All right, and then finally we're just going to do sit to stands. So chair, I'm going to drive the floor away, shove the earth down, stand. Come back down with control, shove the earth down, and stand. I bend at the knees, hips come back, find my chair, drive the floor away. I think that's 3, might be 4, who cares? One more, won't kill you. 4, and you can always have the arms out for counterbalance. 5, 6, shove the earth down. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, you just completed your daily follow-along workout warm-up, and go enjoy your day. Take care.